Hello, my name is Joydeep Chakraborty. We will discuss Marxism as a critical and theoretical concept today. Marxism basically comes from the writings and philosophy of Karl Marx, 1818 to 1883, who did a number of things in ways of knowledge, understanding, and even potentially transformation of human societies. Here, I will just outline the brief points and we'll discuss subsequently in details later. Subsequently. The first point is Marxist philosophy is a materialist philosophy. Materialist, you have to understand literally from material, materialist, not in the pejorative sense that we say that this one is materialist and that one is materialist. Of course, both are same, and Marx would not, uh, feel that it is pejorative. Materialists are people who believe that whatever we have, the reality, our life, everything is related to the, or everything is solely confined to the material world. What we can see, touch, feel, that is opposed to religious ideas, spiritual philosophies, that is soul, God, apparitions, visions, nothing like that. So Marx cancelled not only religion but all hitherto philosophies, as he found that they are basically exercises in irrationalities. So the two famous quotes of Marx, one is religion is the opium of the people. That is, just as opium used to be, people use opium to forget their pains and worries, that's drug addiction. Religion gives people some peace. There is some double meaning in this opium, but then at the same time does not solve the final cause. That is, if you are unhappy in life, be unhappy. Blessed are the meek, for them shall be the kingdom of heaven. The Bible says, more or less, all other scriptures, similar things. So, religion pacifies you. No need to protest. Because if you are good, if you are honest, no matter if your boss or masters exploit you, you will be rewarded by God. Or in Indian traditions, it is due to your past karma. So, you know you are subjected to something which is outside the material condition in religion, some god, some karma that you do not see. That is absolutely no for Marx. So this is why it's a materialist philosophy and realist philosophy to a great extent. Secondly, he says, coming from religion only to other philosophies, though some philosophers have said good things, Marx said, that they only interpreted the world. Philosophers have only interpreted the world. It's time we changed it. So, coming from theory to praxis, Marxism, though we'll study it here as a criticism or theoretical criticism, basically it is more about praxis, not theory. That is why Marx said that philosophers have only interpreted the world. It is time to change it. With this basic two things, now I will go to the next proposition. That is, these first two things relate to the materiality or reality of Marxist studies, which is opposed to the religious and by implication aesthetic or romantic philosophies, unrealistic philosophies, etc. etc. The next thing is then following from that, Marx divides our entire cultural societal phenomenon, in fact our entire system of human society, into two things: base and superstructure. Just as in a building there is a foundation, if we say the foundation is strong, then you can go to 3-story, 4-story, 10-story, like that. So one thing is foundation, the rest are built on it. So in society, human society, there is some foundation, and then everything else is built on that. What is that foundation? Spiritual and religious leaders have said that this is God. On God everything is dependent, prima causa. Romantic lovers say that this is love, maybe amor vincit omnia, we get in Justice Prioress, and so on and so forth. Marx said nothing doing. These are not at all the base. The base of the society is economy, human society, economy, or to simplify it a little, money. We actually don't need a Marx to tell us that. We have so many proverbs even in India: money, money, money is sweeter than honey, and Bab Badana Bhaiya Sabse Bada Rupaiya. But Marx said in a very complicated way and comprehensive way. Okay, so everything relates to money. Let us take an example. Today in India, say eastern part of India, I will talk about Hindu since I'm a Hindu and I belong to Hindu tradition, so I know about my tradition more, thoroughly than others. So I respect all traditions. So Bengali Hindus are taking to gods and goddesses which were, you know, never even known to be gods and goddesses in Bengal or rituals, let alone worshipped. Say Karwa Chauth, all these things different. So why? Because these are from North India, sometimes South India, and they have the capital today. North India, Gujarat, so all these things they have the capital today, and the Bengalis, even in Assam, people are moving towards that, living, in a way, our things, or if not prioritizing, say worshipping of Navaratri. We had Durga Puja, but no Navaratri as such. There are some families which worship Durga for 9 days in Kamakha for 15, but this is not the Navaratri festival. So do you see this? Or vegetarianism on Saturday, Tuesday. But as per the Shaktatantric culture, it is a must that you should have non-veg. And most of the Hindu Bengalis that belong to Shakta, you read Ramakrishna Mission's book that Saturday and Tuesday, Ramakrishna's wife Sharada Devi is telling that you must give fish bhog to Ramakrishna, etc. So Shoni and Mongol are known as Devi Bar. So it is very important to have fish and meat on those days. But these days, due to North Indian influence, these are vegetarian days. I just elaborated to give some telltale example, rudimentary example, and why this change is coming. Because through media, through everything, the culture of North India or Western India is being, propagated throughout all of India. So you see, money is the base. Whoever has money, or whichever, Marx did not attack persons, the class. Now we come to the next point. So this what I can say, possession of economy, who possesses and who does not, create the possibly practically the most important part of Marxist philosophy. It divides the world into two classes, haves and have-nots. On the one hand, the very rich people are there, Ambani's, Birla's, Adani's, so many things, and of course there are degrees of richness, and then coming to lower strata. On the other hand, there are people who almost have nothing. So many people died during labor migration and all these things, or partition. So haves and have-nots. Technically, bourgeois and proletariat. The have-nots are proletariat, actually Marx called them proletariat. So in Communist Manifesto he said that the proletariats have nothing to lose but their chains. They are chained everywhere, the laborers. Again, let me give an example. The very basic foundation about existence comes from food. Who produces the core food? The farmers. But the farmers are not there in the list of precedence of honor in India or maybe in any other country which starts from president and all. Now, even we, let us criticize ourselves also, giving this beautiful, I mean, not so beautiful, maybe lecture, deliberation. Why? Because some other people are producing food which we can eat and eat at a very cheap rate. Had we had to, yes, some of us may have agricultural land and all. I do not have. So that is a different thing. They are not having agricultural land again does not make one a have not. People who work in that land for poor, very meager amount of money, or who work in their own land from dawn to dusk throughout the year, and then have to sell out this his profit, I mean his proceedings at a very low profit, are the have-nots. They are the exploited class. So Marx said that all of them should unite and revolt against the capitalist class. So workers of the world unite. This is the Marxist mantra. And then he said, the proletariat has nothing to lose but his chains. As I said already, that if we do anything radical, we are afraid. Oh, I will. If I say something, there will be attack on my family. If I say that thing, there will be attack on my job. So many things. But for those people who really do not have anything, what will they fear? I mean, what will they lose? So they will lose only their chains. That is what Marx said. So this is what we call class struggle. So in theoretical terms, the first condition that I discussed is called historical materialism. Then the second condition or second set of concept, base and superstructure. Now the third that I have discussed is class struggle. So history of the world, basically Marx said, is history of class struggle. Then there is a fourth point which is there in all these points, the concept of ideology. Ideology, as we use in day-to-day language, meaning some set of ideals and all, are not exactly what Marx or other Marxists meant by ideology. Ideology literally in Marxism means false consciousness. So capitalist society or any society, I mean all societies are capitalists actually, according to Marx, and it is quite true. It may not be 100% true, but 80 to 90% true, you can see that. So they, from the very beginning of a person's life, keep giving some kind of philosophies, mantras and ideas. For example, if you work hard, you will succeed. So you keep working hard, then you cannot become like a Birla, Ambani, and then the failure is in your efforts. Just as in religion and all, the failure of in life was ascribed to karma, or were meant to be accepted in expectation of a reward from God. In rational capitalist philosophy again, that this kind of ideology is given, that your failure and success in life is exclusively your individual. The society has no role to play. The state, the nation do not have any role to play. So the famous American president has said, ask not what the nation can do for you, ask what you can do for the nation. This is patriotism from my point of view, but from Marxist point of view, this is because who is the nation? We are the nation. We will do for whom if we do not get the things? So Marx says that this will serve the capitalist classes of the nation. So this ideology or false belief, it is always there in capitalist society. All our values, structures of thought, etc. are generally dominated by things that help the capitalists continue their power. In brief, for understanding of younger, very new students, you can just use this phrase which we use often in our day-to-day parlance, that is brainwashing. So ideology is a kind of, it's brainwashing basically. So false belief, we are made to believe in values, systems and thoughts which have actually no rational basis, or which are actually geared towards helping the capitalists maintain their rule and then exploit us further. So, I will have further discussions in other videos. Thank you.